I don't know why we have this idea that somehow by fooling ourselves into believing that we're going to forget that it somehow makes the relationship better. But let me move on and ask this other point. Is it ever anybody's fault that they got cheated on?
Yes.
Thank you, Jordan. I'm trying to talk to the doctor. Doctor,
Yes.
what do you mean by that?
I agree with both of your points. One, it is an issue of character, and part of it is your own decision to do. But the other part is that your partner may not be doing their job in the relationship.
Let's be more specific. What do you mean by that?
There is work that can be done to
The band
protect
is
your
applauding
relationship.
now.
There is work that can be done. You have to take care of your partner's needs, and you got to take care of your partner's needs even if you decide to forgive and get back together. The person who was cheated on doesn't just get to sit back and forever be like, it's your fault and I'm never going to let this go. They still have to love again. They still have to love again.
Is there, I'm going to ask you the question again, is it ever anybody's fault that they were cheated on?
I think it's everybody's responsibility because fault doesn't really get you anything. But you definitely got to deal with what caused the separation between you that allowed an opening for somebody else to come in there, male or female.
Give me an example of what would be somebody's responsibility for holding it up.
Because, okay, first of all, everybody's responsible to communicate what their needs are.
What about the man?
No, I think that for me, again, the key is you need to fix that stuff before you step out. Sometimes marriages don't work. I mean, I would love to see everybody's marriage work, but sometimes it doesn't, and people have to leave. But you make that decision, you either leave or you fix it, but you don't step out. 14 years.
14 years, and if you found out your wife stepped out on you tomorrow, you would leave your wife?
Well, I'm like you. I have almost 20 years invested in knowing my wife. I have 3 beautiful children. But
would you
I can't honestly say that. But I'm sitting here on late night TV and she's watching and I'm saying, hell yeah, I leave my wife. I'm going the next day.
You all think?
And if she's watching, if you're watching this, I know what you're up to.
Hey,
I know what you're up to.
She not watching it. They watching it.
But what's interesting is when my wife and I talk about this, I tell her all the time, she says, well, would you? I said, I would, please. I'm gone, my bags would be packed. And she says to me, no, I would not leave you, but I would make your life miserable
But
for the rest of your life.
Here's a question, Vannessa, don't you think men know when they're with a woman who's going to put up with it and one that isn't? Do you think men evaluate that? Or maybe I should ask that question to a man?
Maybe you should, but I think they test it. I think certainly a guy will test it.
Test it, define testing.
Go out and see if she's going to put
stay
up
out
with
to
it.
12, then stay out to 1, then
I
stay out to 2. What are we talking about?
Like you said, assess, just how much you're going to sweat me on this. Sometimes some guys want to get sweated. And if you don't sweat them enough, they're like, oh, what's wrong with you? And then that will make them go. Or
wait, we got to take it out there. Audience, you all want some of this? I'm coming out there to the audience. We come back with the baddest audience on TV. You're watching Baisden After Dark. It's about to be on.